Victory is definitely sweet for those who toiled to achieve it. For the All Progressive Congress, APC, it is time to savor the exhilaration of victory after the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, declared its presidential candidate, Muhammadu Buhari, winner of Saturday's presidential election. President Buhari scored 15.2 million votes and won in 19 states to beat his main challenger, ATIKU of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, who polled 11.3 million votes and was victorious in 17 states, quite close. While President Buhari has thanked Nigerians for their votes and urged APC supporters to be magnanimous in victory, ATIKU has rejected the results, citing irregularities in many states. He has vowed to challenge the outcome in courts. Meanwhile, on many occasions on this program, I asked Babajide about the chances of President Buhari in the presidential race, and he always insisted that he is the candidate to beat anytime, any day. Let us share one of those moments with you. Jide, moving forward now, if Mr. President comes back, or anytime he comes back, I see a president that will be under another pressure, because from the vibes I'm getting, Mr. President might just urge him to just take a shot at the 2019 election, because with the options on ground, a lot of people will say that, look, if Muhammadu Buhari still say he's going to run for that presidency, that he's a candidate to beat anytime.
He won't come in immediately and be talking about 2019. No. But if you want to know whether today, especially in northern Nigeria, and the votes from northern Nigeria are essential, if the president decides to run, I go to the north all the time. If the president decides to run, there's nobody out there. And I'm saying it with a high sense of responsibility, with God watching me. There's nobody out there in the north who can defeat him. He's still extremely popular. If you doubt me, call people. Call journalists that you know have the decency to say the truth to their friends. He's still extremely popular. How do you gauge people's popularity? You see, long after Muritala died, you still see Muritala's picture. You see people, Marwa riders in the north, Okada riders in the north, you still see them stick Muritala's picture to their Okadas. Yeah, up till today, there is no one alive that people stick his picture to their vehicles, to their Okadas, to their tricycles, like Muhammadu Buhari. And that's why I called him the super tanker of Nigerian politics. He's still like that. So for him, it is actually, rather than turn against him because he's ill, there is a lot of pity and people are waiting. That's why that musician sang that song in Kasina, that Soho, Yasoka de Kwari. Once that time that the president came back, he said the old man has come back with gravitas. He stepped down from the plane with so much strength. And he's saying again that Inka Senka Kasata Kagudu, if you know that you've stolen money, and you know Buhari is approaching, take to your heels. It is still very popular in the north.
7 months down the line. That was August 18, 2018. 2018. Babajide, we said it, and when you look at the spread and you do a kind of breakdown of all the results, the analysis you made, we're talking about the northern part of the country. Yes. And President Muhammadu Buhari made inroads into even the southern part of the country. He wasn't so impressive in the southwest, but he made some gains ahead of what he did in 2015 in the southeast and the south-south.
Yes, that's to be expected. When we had that program, first and foremost, I know that you must have asked me up to 5 times whether Buhari will win. And on all occasions I said, I still don't see how he can be defeated. We can't begin to play back all of those.
Looking for the archives.
Yes. And I remember a senior colleague warning me that, Jide, stop sticking out your neck. But the truth about me is that if I believe in something, it will take a mighty effort to get me to not affirm my belief in that thing. So he told me, look, don't, because you have a future after this whole political season, that if the president loses, then what will you tell people? And even on Twitter, someone was abusing me, and he said, I want to see how your face will look on the day Buhari is declared loser of the presidential election. So rather than reply him, I just simply ignored him, and I paid little attention to Twitter, because the truth is, our people don't like to be told the truth. If they support ATIKU, they want to hear from you all the time that ATIKU is the one who will win. If they support Buhari, you must not criticize him. You know, a lot of our friends, we've lost friends on account of simply saying that the president needs to do this, the president needs to do that. That is our work. That's our job. We are paid as journalists. We are not politicians. So anytime you criticize the president, oh, some people's blood will boil. As if it is our job to praise the president all the time. No. But the president is not someone who pretends. He knows the real people who tell him the truth. And he's not the sort of person who likes to be lied to all the time. No, he will not enjoy the company of such persons. All these people who want to kill themselves on Facebook, when Nigerians were running away from this president, some of us, I was correspondent of the news, and in Kaduna, we were the people, we had the courage to go and visit him in his house. So if we criticize him, it's because we want him to improve, so that Nigeria can be better for all of us. People don't get that. They think that, oh, he must not criticize the president. I mean, it's borderline insanity to imagine that a man must never be criticized. So, but we are consistent. When you ask that problem, what's likely to happen? We are consistent because that's what we see. When you ask the question, Obasanjo, what will happen? I said it that this government is different to Jonathan. The more Obasanjo abuses them, the more determination that they will have to make sure they win the election, so that Obasanjo can be buried politically once and for all. And this is what has happened. There are more ass kickers in this government than Jonathan's government. I said it is on record. So the election has come and gone. We said the election will be close. Of course, by various parameters that you use, it has been a close contest. And Jonathan, and ATIKU has no reason to feel like someone who has lost something really big, because he's done well in this contest. When we go deep into how the contest went, you will see clearly he won more new states than the president won. He won 4 states that PDP didn't win in the last election.
He made inroad into the southwest.
Buhari only won 2 states outside of the states that he won in 2015. So I think ATIKU should congratulate himself, because he's done well. States in the north where Jonathan didn't move close to recording 25%. He even exceeded, in some cases, he exceeded 40%. Like in Sokoto, he got 41%, the same way we had predicted. So he has no reason to now say he's going to court this and that. And I'm happy that Nigerians are appealing to him, that instead of even Agbako Basan, I said instead of going to court,
yes,
he should not go to court. Yesterday, one of the biggest items trending was hashtag make that call.
Yes.
Which means that
a
considerable number of Nigerians were waiting for ATIKU to simply call the president and say congratulations, because someone has won the election. You may not like the person who has won the election, but that is the reality. And the next thing to do, if you don't want to heat up the polity, because we remain one nation, one people. even after the election. So not only to heat up the politics, the right thing to do is to simply call the president and congratulate him for putting on a good show. And the president too will show magnanimity. He has already told the supporters that they don't need to humiliate the losers. But I'm not sure that a lot of those guys on Facebook, I'm not sure they will listen to the president's advice.
Most of them did not vote. Most of them did not vote.
Most of them do not even.
Social media.
Those are the people who even abuse you at night for being objective.
They did not vote.
They behave like they like BUHARI more than even AISHA BUHARI.
Okay, look at what happened in Lagos State. Lagos State with 6.5 million, or 6 million, over 6 million PVC was collected in Lagos State. At the end of the day, President Buhari had 600 and something thousand. And, you know, less than 1.2 million people actually voted in Lagos State.
I think that shows where the difference actually lies. You know, it is one thing for people to have PVC. It is another thing for them to make use of those PVCs. And I think a similar scenario played out in 2015, except that I cannot remember precisely which of the southeastern states, whereby we had over, I think, around 1.4 million registered voters who actually, those who actually collected PVC. But unfortunately, on the day of the election, less than 500,000 of them came out. So who are you going to blame? If, for instance, you are so sure about your candidate, why did you come up with your PVC as a way of making the difference? You know, I remember that in 2015, in the area where I was living as at that time, you know, a lot of people that are parked out of the area, they slept overnight. So it's because they want to perform their civic responsibility. They want to make sure that they vote. In 2019, I've also moved out of the area I was in 2015, but because I also had the determination that I wanted to vote, I left my area and I came there to vote, you know, and I went back. So a lot of people made that sacrifice, but unfortunately, you know, we have a situation whereby people, I think it will have given us the opportunity of knowing the level of participation, the actual level of participation of people. Because what is the need if over 5 million registered, over 5 million collected PVC, and at the end of the day, you know, a very insignificant number of those people actually voted on the day of election. It's not the number of PVC that we are going to use to determine whoever emerge as the winner. It's the number of people that actually cast their vote on the day of the election.
What's even the point in taking the pain to go and collect it?
I think the reason why some people even also took the PVCs because of the fear that maybe in the nearest future there might be need for them to use it for something else apart from voting. That's why you see a lot of people, you know, doing that. You know, it's not the right way to go. You know, and people like that, they will be the one that we at the end of the day keep complaining about the type of leadership that we have. When you yourself, you don't do anything to change or to affirm the leadership that you have. And the only way you can do that is for you to exercise that franchise. It's your inalienable right. And nobody is taking that right from you. But only that you yourself, you try to take it away from yourself. And you can't blame anybody for it. People like that should not complain because they have the opportunity of voting and they refuse to vote.
President Buhari, in Oyo State and in Ondo State, what happened? We thought the Southwest is like the fortress of the APC. What happened in Oyo and Ondo State?
Everywhere, you know, we were complaining, we were talking about the division in the APC. And every time I criticize the party, I even describe the party as dysfunctional. People get angry. They don't want you to talk about the problems of the APC. But you need to talk about the problems of the APC so that the leaders can sit up and realize what they are up against. I know a friend of mine that every time I say, look, APC, they have crisis in Adamawa, they have crisis in Ogun, and all that. He will say, what of the crisis in the PDP? What of the crisis? The truth is, you should be concerned about the crisis in your own party and how you can solve the problem. What's your business with the PDP? So does it mean that if PDP is doing something evil, something bad, you must copy them?
It.
You see the way we are. And we ignore those problems, we refuse to solve those problems until those problems give us a kick in the groin.
President Theodore Roosevelt once quipped that a vote is like a rifle. Its usefulness depends upon the character of the user. So millions of voters who trooped out to vote in Saturday's governorship and State House of Assembly election in Nigeria have used the polls to make a bold statement by maintaining and deviating from certain voting patterns. The governorship election threw up surprises across the country, while voters upturned the power equation in states like Kwara, Gombe, and Oyo by voting into power new parties. Those in states like Lagos, Borno, Yobe, Akwa Ibom, and Cross River kept faith with the ruling parties. In our analysis on party chances on the program last week, our regular Babajide predicted the likely outcome in some states. Well, most states, I should say. Let's start with Kano, where the APC is about to lose its control of the northwest state.
If the results of what's the outcome of last week's presidential and National Assembly election is anything to go by, would that in any way change the equation or rub off, or would there be what we call a bandwagon effect in Kano State, Babajide?
There's always bandwagon effect in most elections, but the dynamics will change as far as the governorship elections that we'll have on Saturday are concerned. For example, amongst Kwankwaso supporters, many of them did not want, from the beginning, did not want to vote for ATIKU.
Kwankwaso supporters?
Yes, many of them did not want to vote for ATIKU. The commitment of most of them is the governorship contest. They didn't, so a lot of them voted for BUHARI. They didn't want ATIKU.
Well, the presidential election might be a different ballgame from this.
Completely. And we have seen it in the past. When immediately BUHARI lost the election in 2011, the people were so disappointed, they were not interested in the governorship. They set ablaze their voter cards. So to think that, oh, because people voted for BUHARI that time, no, it's not like that. I'm telling you that Kwankwasia members, many of them refused to vote for ATIKU because, as far as they are concerned, if they had to make a choice between ATIKU and BUHARI, it has to be BUHARI. And for many of them, it is the governorship that is the main issue. Because they don't like the governor. Their leader does not like the governor. So their big battle, the battle that they are looking forward to, is the battle for Kano. That's the battle with Ganduje.
Interesting prediction there, and that was exactly a week ago. Babajide and Gani, I welcome you both to the show today. Let me begin with you, Babajide. You just saw yourself now, you know. How then do you react now to what we see happening in Kano at the moment?
Yes, actually, I knew that the governorship election will be a completely different proposition to the presidential election. And in previous programs, editions of this program, I had said that Kwankwaso would prefer to lose the presidency than to have Ganduje continue as governor. So that has always been his preoccupation. And I knew that quite a number of them didn't, the Kwankwasia members didn't vote for ATIKU because they've never liked ATIKU. A lot of them voted for BUHARI. They don't have any issue with BUHARI. So if you saw that, 380-something thousand for PDP in Kano in the presidential election, it does not follow that the governorship election that PDP will be trounced the same way. That was the point that I was trying to make, that the complexion of the voting will be different to what we saw during the presidential election, because for them, the real battle they are interested in is not even the presidential election, but the governorship election in Kano. So, we saw that that was what happened.
Which gives one a sense that indeed politics is local, all levels of politics is local. Gani, did it strike you as a surprise as to the Kano experience?
Well, actually not. We know from the moment that the Kwakwasiya broke away from Ganduje's back, that Kano is going to be very tough. The only part of conveyance was BUHARI. And once that one has been removed, they are now free to do what they always wanted to do. Deal with Ganduje the best way they know how. And the result is a reflection of the fact that not only those with Kwankwaso, a lot of Kano elites that I've spoken to in the recent past detests the governor. And this is just a reflection of the level of distrust they have for his kind of leadership. It does not take away the fact that the governor is not a pushover, because you all realize that nobody can push him over in his own state, but he's battling against an uphill battle that, if one is not careful, will consume him in this election.
And for those in the Southwest where we reside, of course, that's excluding you both now, where your tentacles, of course, spread beyond. Some would have said, or some would say, where did Governor Abdullahi Ganduje miss it with his people? We know how sensitive now things are in Kano, and we also know how strong politics is, even down to the littlest person, so to speak, in Kano. But what would it be for you?
Well, politics in Kano is very dynamic and also full of surprises. Sometimes the people just decide that, well, this is what our leaders want, but this is what we want to do. It happened to BUHARI in 2011. The candidate that BUHARI supported the CPC, for the governorship contest for CPC, the people of Kano rejected him. That was the first time that BUHARI would be rejected in Kano. They voted for a different person. So, in this case, the numbers, when I started seeing the results from some parts of Kano, honestly, I was surprised. I expected a very tough contest. Because the two, both Ganduje and Kwankwaso, they know each other so well. And their supporters are also very familiar with each other. So it's usually very difficult when two members of the same political family are contesting against one another. Well, I didn't expect the kind of votes that I saw from Kano Municipal against the governor. Those are really shattering election results. We've not had the last from Kano, so there's a limit to which we can say about Kano, but this is what is happening for now. We don't know if we can still turn it around, but it seems like a mountain to climb for the governor at this time.
Gani, what would it be for you? We saw towards the tail end now of last year and trickled into the new year now, the two major allegations, now that involve the Governor Ganduje. Could it have been it, or are there some other underlying missteps that the governor took?
Well, you must remember that the closeness between Ganduje and Kwankwaso started when they were in government. And there is nothing worse to some people than people they refer to as an ingrate. So a lot of Kwankwasia see Ganduje as a man who is trying to bite the hand that fed him. Meanwhile, Ganduje on the other part is simply trying to assume the role of the main man in Kano. The issue of the dollar or thereabouts will just be fringes to how the people of Kano really feel about the governor, both as citizens of Kano and as members of the political parties. It's not really the way a lot of people are reading it. Even without these two events, the results we get now
still have been the same.
will be the same.
And then, right now, just like you've already hinted and warned, of course, nothing is,
Cast in stone.
cast in stone at the moment. But for the APC now, I mean, what do you think the lessons to be learnt will be? Of course, we are still waiting for the final announcements. But in your analysis, how would it be?
As I always say in politics, friends must stay together. Friends must stick together. Whenever there is some form of disagreement between members of the same political family, it always has unpleasant consequences. And that's what we are seeing across some of the states in Nigeria. Sometimes when we talk about these things and we warn against APC members, especially fighting one another, some of my friends will be saying, why are you always talking about APC fighting themselves? Are you, in PDP, are they not also quarreling among themselves? But we've seen now, the party that is making the bigger gains is the PDP. Because PDP is winning new states. More than the APC is winning new states. So what you need to do is try to stay together. When you stay together as one, it is difficult for the enemy to break your ranks. But when there's division between you members of the same political family, and everyone is pulling in different directions, it is difficult to win an election.
You know, a lot of people will say the First Lady is like rocking the boat. But anytime she's always spot on her criticism about the way things are going. She's like the voice of the masses in this government.
Yes, because how did her husband become popular? Her husband became popular for being an advocate of the masses. Her husband wants the best for the masses. Her husband cannot watch the masses suffer. And that is why for many years he was contesting. And even though he didn't win, he continued to contest. And he retained the loyalty that the poor masses of our people, especially in northern Nigeria, have for him on account of his honesty. They do not see him as being one of the oppressors. Buhari has never been seen by the masses as one of the oppressors. So if Buhari has a wife who also cares about the masses, who does not want the masses to suffer, what is wrong about that? The truth is that every time Aisha Buhari says something, some people will find a way to twist it. When the APC had the primaries, and we had a situation in which money was taken from people, yet on election day, they didn't see their names on the ballot. She complained. When she complained, they said it was because her brother didn't win the primaries in Adamawa State. This is the nature of our people. They don't like the truth. Or the truth is, whether Aisha Buhari did not directly mention governors or not, all that the governors need to do is to take the message seriously and then go back to their states and begin to deliver on the basic needs of the people.
How to meet the masses.
You don't have to say, oh, he was referring to everybody. He wasn't referring to us alone. The headlines, those who cast headlines were saying governors' orders. In that gathering, they felt that the governors were the most significant. Yes, the VP was there, but they felt the governors were the most significant, but they also said orders, meaning that the headlines didn't even suggest that she was referring to governors alone. So I do not see any need. There's nothing she has said that...
CKN, at the point in time, she actually cried out about the state of the hospital. I mean, the villa. The clinic in the villa. That they don't even have nothing, and money is being budgeted.
Hey, why? I'm 50-something. So I will say I know a lot about Nigeria. For the first time, as far as I'm concerned, this is the first time we have a first lady who will come out and say the truth. All the other ones before her have just been politicians. This woman is not a politician. She says it the way it is. And why? Most often than not, women have God-given gifts. You and I know. There are instances why you know.
And they have,
your wife,
they have conscience.
Yes, your wife will tell you, this thing, no, don't do this. It has happened to me several times. That it got to a point, I started calling my wife, say, you, whenever she tells me anything, I'm telling you, I take it. Because there are so many things that they see that we are at work.
They are even more spiritual than
They are more spiritual.
Yeah.
We are at work. They are the ones that knows. So whenever this woman comes out to say something, you get to know that she's saying the truth. Now, look at what she said. She knows the suffering of the masses. She knows what. It's not the first time. She has said it several times. Okay. And it is instead of our leaders to listen to what they say, they'll start putting politics into it.
Okay, all right. Yes. To shed more light on this, I have the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria online. That's Mrs. AISHA BUHARI. Your Excellency, thank you for joining us live on the Hangouts.
Thank you, guys.
I want to first of all congratulate you on AISHA and Junior graduation, coming out with the first class.
Thank you.
And the 30th anniversary.
And your 30th anniversary
of marriage to your husband.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Double celebration in the BUHARI family.
Yeah.
All right, back to the business. Madam, those people you are referring to, I want you to shed light on this.
Who are they?
Who are they?
So, well done. Thank you for being with me this time to shed more light on what I've already said. Actually, we all know the situation the country is now. We're all adults. And on that very day, I did not blame the governors specifically. If I wanted to blame the governors, I would have called the governors forum, are not doing well on this and that. But if you listen to my conversation there, I said what we are suffering from now is as a result of long term of total neglect of what should be offered to the citizens. And we are all suffering from it. Whether you are an executive, an ordinary citizen, it's all the same. We can't go to our villages and sleep with two eyes closed.
So it cuts across.
So I don't know. Yeah, it's cut across. And on that very day, I'll also mention something on social media. When the Sultan of Sokoto talked about the social media, the bad effect that it's reflecting in the society, and also the Minister of Communication was there. When something happens, something that the minister is supposed to come out and say it, they don't say it. In that very place, the minister gave an example, the Minister of Communication gave an example, saying that somebody called VP, His Excellency, Professor Yemi Shubanjo, saying that, why did you resign? He said, no, I did not resign. Who told you that I've resigned? He said he saw it on social media. Everybody laughed in that hall. When I got up to give my speech, I said, it's not a laughing matter. I was surprised that everybody laughed. What does that mean? That they should continue saying that somebody as a whole vice president of a country of 200 million people, somebody faking that he has resigned. A minister of communication that's supposed to give an order, bring an end to fake news, talked about it and everybody laughed. And that's the end of it. No consequences for any offenders, nothing, you say what you like and you go free. So there's no way that we should have such a society and have peace in it. So once there's no consequences, everybody is not doing what he should, almost everything is in a disarray. And a typical example of what happens that wherever they're supposed to take action against the offenders, or to take action, or to take charge, or to be in control, or to caution people, they will keep mute on it. When it comes to unnecessary things, people will start talking from the presidency. A typical example of what happened after the election of Bayelsa. When the PDP people came out and said that they will is it suspend His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan, the former president, for doing wrong or something like that? I didn't read it because I don't have time. I have seen no reason why a presidency should come out and say that they were shocked to hear that. Is it our business? Are we PDP members?
Oh.
Eh? Is President Jonathan a member of our party? What does that have to do with the presidency? Meanwhile, they said the president was dead when he was sick. They shot his coffin. They shot his everything. And then recently, all over the media that is getting married, they were showing this and that. Nobody came out to defend the president, to say anything about it.
They left it to go.
How did you take that news, madam?
I didn't take it serious because even my husband doesn't know what's happening. Both of us, we don't know what's happening. They just decided to bombard the media, the social media with it. So they are now threatening the social media to bring down the government itself. So I feel that we should not allow people that are nobody and nothing to bring to override the innocent people, the people that are supposed to be in charge, should remain mute. Meanwhile, the bad ones will take over the country from us. It's impossible.
Madam,
and it's totally unacceptable.
Your Excellency, ma, yes. Have you ever been told to stop talking? Have you ever been
Who will stop me? Everybody is talking in the country. Nobody will stop me.
Like, they've not attempted to gag you.
To stop talking.
Because every time you talk, it's like a bomb.
No, it's a serious matter. Nobody is safe. No consequences. So everybody should talk. So it's like everybody is free to talk. Freedom of movement, freedom of talk, what do you call
speech.
it? Speech, expressing your opinion on things. And don't forget that everybody knows that we are not safe where we are.
Yes.
You either be kidnapped or shot to death, or this one will attack you, that person will attack this person. So it's just wrong. We suppose there should be consequences for any offense.
Yes,
and the ministers should do what they should. I know that Nigeria is a complex country, but Nigeria needs like a little bit, we need a bit of sanity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
We need a bit of sanity.
Yes. Yes.
Her Excellency,
yeah.
Just as I said before, we've seen several first ladies before you. I don't think none of them have been this bold to be able to come out to defend.
They don't intervene
in national matters. How will you want to be remembered after leaving this office?
Let me give you one example. On the 6th of November, I think the 2nd of November, I met the wife of the vice president at the airport on my way to Morocco, and she on her way to Ekene. She was looking so exhausted and looking sick. I said, Dolapo, must you travel? She said, what can I do? These people really fought for us during the last election. They did not allow any party to come to our ward because of me and my husband. And now they are having a function in that very village. And my husband is going to be in Daura now. He won't be able to attend. So there's no way that both of us would attend that particular event for Ekene people. I said, what does that mean? She said, I felt indebted to them the way they fought for us. I said, okay, you are not joining the line. Because these people fought for your husband, that's for only one term. And me, the Nigerian masses continue, they believe in my husband's ideology. They continue fighting for it for the past 12 years, before 2015. When we go to this place, it's not because we are the richest, the most handsome or beautiful, the most educated, but we're just here due to trust and confidence that they have in us. So I feel indebted to Nigerian masses or Nigerians in general to continue defending them as a wife of the president or as a first lady or as a mother of the nation.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good.
Final question before you go, Your Excellency. Do you get to take on the president in some of these matters that we've just raised? That sometimes do you get to the pillow talk, Mr. President? What is happening?
There's no pillow in the villa.
Even in the other room.
Even in the other room.
No. Because we're always busy listening to one story or another, you know.
Okay.
I think the people he put in the cabinet is like, they should just sit up and do the needful, and that is it. That's why it's not good to have godfatherism. We just need to choose the right people to be at the right place so that we will rest. So that the first lady should stop talking.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much.
Safe journey back to the country. That's the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Madam AISHA BUHARI. Babajide, vintage AISHA BUHARI.
Vintage AISHA, just natural.
Point blank.
She's human.
She was born into a wealthy family, but you feel her love for the poor people. You feel it every time she talks. And even in terms of her pet projects, you know, she cannot watch people suffer. This is the truth. Anyone who is close to her will know that this is the way how
she's talking. She's talking because she's agitated that the people trust her husband. The people has placed so much body on her husband, and the cabinet or the people working with the husband, they are not
delivering. They are not delivering.
They're not doing enough.
The needful.
They are just not doing enough. That is the truth. You see, if you are wired to speak the truth at all times, it will take killing you to stop you from speaking the truth. And this is this is what I see about this woman. So people should focus on her message rather than trying to twist whatever she says anytime she intervenes. We are lucky to have a first lady who cares about the ordinary people. Because if she does not even talk for the poor, she does not lose anything.
No, she will just be attending her functions. She has all her functions and enjoying her
FFK, as much as people see him as somebody who does not know what he's doing, he said something. He said that AISHA BUHARI is one of the few assets that Buhari has. Go and check. He said that a long time ago, that this is a first lady with class. So for Fanika Ode, who is one of the greatest critics of Buhari, to come out and say that means you just have to admit that she has got it in her.
It's so good listening to her. As I say every time, I'm one of those that celebrates her, even as the president of Guild of Professional Bloggers. Anytime you see me talking about AISHA BUHARI, it has always been positive because this is, you see the mother in her. You will see that this is a mother who wants things to be done right
the right way.
Despite all the so-called powers and whatever that try to, she will succeed because the prayer of the masses and they don't through
she can't be silent.
She cannot be silent.
She said nobody can silence her.
She said it here. He said nobody can silence. She will not over you. Yes. You see, so the best of luck to her.
All right. So. So I have the Executive Governor of Lagos, Mr. Governor Babajide Olushola SANWO-OLU, from his Alausa office. Now, you've been a banker and served as a commissioner for years now. You manage public transportation in Lagos. How have you found governing Lagos in the last 6 months?
Well, I mean, first, I used to thank you. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
To Ayo, to Mojid, and my namesake, Jide. Thank you very much for giving me this rare opportunity and privilege to be part of your first-class program called Journalists Hangouts. I feel like a journalist already.
Yes, you are hanging out with us already.
Yes, I can see how wired up I am. But just to say that I had to end the cabinet meeting so just that I can pick this interview. Monday is always our cabinet meeting, and I'm truly honored to be with you this evening. So, back to your question.
In the last 6 months?
For me in the last 6 months. Has it been for me in the last 6 months?
Yes.
Okay. It's been a roller coaster. It's been a lot more challenging than one would have thought. That's the truth. It's been very eye-opening, but more importantly, it's been a position of tremendous opportunity, a position of where people will expect that with the level of trust and commitment we're expecting from you, that things will begin to happen very quickly. So with our economic agenda, we had settled down very quickly. You know that we have our project teams, which we all know what it is: traffic management and transportation, health and environment, education and technology, making Lagos a 21st century economy in infrastructure, in housing, and in power. Tourism and entertainment, and finally, security and good governance. So each one of them, we have started tackling and resolving all of the problems that we have in Lagos. So the last 6 months has been a lot of fact-finding, confirmation of what the issues are, and bringing about solutions that can be used to tackle each and every of the problem that we've identified. So if you ask me which one in particular, I can explain to you. If it is in transportation, if it is in health, if it's in education, if it is in security, I can take you one after the other.
Now, Lagos has over the last decade inched towards mega city status. But again, how do we intend to deal with the issue of traffic gridlock and bad roads? We see quick fixes that cannot withstand even the moderate rainfall, let alone a downpour.
Well, thank you very much, Ayo. So with the traffic gridlock, we came in right in the middle of the rainy season. June, July, August, that's when we have the highest level of rain, right? But also given the vehicular density of Lagos compared to national average, it will always be a bit of traffic. Lagos have about 240 vehicles per kilometer as compared to a national average of about 11. So Lagos also occupy less than 0.5% of the total mass of this country, right, of which 1/3 of it is also water. And Lagos also carries over 10% of the population of this country. So looking at that small area, that huge population, it's good to say that there will always be traffic issue. But so what have we done? So we identify traffic gridlock junctions. And so we're solving those gridlocks one after the other. You will realize that we've just awarded about 5 various roundabouts all around Lagos where we want to introduce traffic signaling as against walking around the roundabouts. In Lekki, in Ikeja, in Alimosho, around the command area, in Akowonjo, and the last place is Ejigbo, Egbeda, Ejigbo. So we're also solving the problem around Maryland. So all of these places where you have the roundabouts, we're removing the roundabouts. So once the roundabouts are removed, we'll see what we call road signaling, where we'll be using traffic lights to manage the traffic. That's one. We've also set up to ensure that it is zero potholes on all our roads. If we're able to introduce the zero potholes on all our roads, we'll have free flow movement. And so you can see all around Victoria Island, Ozumbamba Diwe, under Falomo roundabout, under if you're coming from Outer Marina, all of those impediments of traffic gridlocks have been removed. If you go to the Lagos West, which is Ikorodu, you'll see all our attempts around resolving traffic at Agric Ishawo Road and also Ijede Road. If you go to Lagos West and go towards Lagos Badagry Express Road, you will see that we're also resolving the traffic gridlocks on the express road, right, with the road infrastructure going on there. So we're tackling traffic gridlocks from a multi-hydra-headed position. So these are some of the things we're doing. But the long-term solution will be for us to have users not only using the road infrastructure, but they can use rail and they also can use waterways as the medium to long-term solutions that we're expecting. So very quickly, we need to complete our rail infrastructure that we're building, and we need to scale up, our procurements on the waterways. In the new years, you'll see that there are new boats that will be launching for the waterways, so that we can direct traffic. People don't need to move only on the road. Let's use the natural water God has given us by ensuring that we have safe water transportation. We're completing some dredging in some of the corridors, and finally to be able to complete our rail project. The blue line, which is far gone, and the red line, which we are starting in the new year. So all this will give us a comprehensive transport traffic management solution, in the next couple of months.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
That's how
Governor.
we're tackling them.
Thank you, Mr. Governor.
Thank you.
We see evidence of road rehabilitation, but the concern that people have is that the same roads that the potholes have been filled at this time, next year we will return to fill those potholes again. Why is it difficult to have to rehabilitate these roads in an enduring manner so that we don't return to them the following year?
Well, thank you very much. Like I said, Lagos, because of the volume of water that it carries, especially during the rainy season, if we have our choices, we would rather make almost all our roads interlocking or concrete roads. Asphalt does not work well with rain, right? So once you have asphalted road, if it's not well compacted, the moment you have any form of break or any form of pothole there, if you don't quickly fix it, the asphalt will start wearing off very quickly. But if they are interlocking stones, interlocking will be a lot more enduring. And you can see what I'm saying. That's where on the Lagos Apapa-Oshodi Express Road that federal government is doing with Dangote, you can see that is rigid pavement, meaning we're doing concrete roads.